Hello again, it's Bev from Planetcrochet. Today on this little video I'd like to show you how to do a solid granny. So you will need your yarn, your hook corresponds with the yarn, so this is double knit, so I'm using a 4mm, that's a G, darning needle and a pair of scissors. So put them to the side because I don't need them right now. So this solid granny is as it looks. It's exactly the same start as the traditional one I showed you last week. So that's 3 treble, 3 chain, etc. all the way around. It's just from the next round, because you're working in top of the stitches, which is when you put your hook in. There is 2 lines, so it looks like a V. So just make sure your hook goes through both, not just through one. You don't just want to go through one accidentally, you need to go through both, or you don't want to go through the space. So I've already started, put that there, I've already started the middle, because like I said, it starts exactly the same. If you look on my previous video, it's exactly the same. If I have time at the end, I'll show you how I sew the middle tail in, but yeah, it starts exactly the same. So I've done the middle. Now on the previous video, as I showed you, I would slip stitch across to the corner, but with the solid you can do that. I have done that in the past. Makes it a little bit bulky here. You can do it, it's just knowing when you come back around where to put your hook as a beginner. So I would do it just this way. And as I showed you last time, the pattern does say chain 3 for your first stitch, counts as a treble, but as I showed you last time, I only put 2 in, because I personally prefer that, because it lays straight on there. You can still see it, but that's just my personal preference. So instead of going to a gap, which we will in the corner, but we are going to the stitches. So on the top of the stitch, it is a bit awkward, this first one. Yarn over 2 times. Again, in your stitch. So that's your 3 treble. Now in the corner, it's 2 treble, 1, 2. Unlike in this corner, it's 3 chain, 3. But in a solid, it is the stitches from the previous row, which is 3 when you start, and then 2 chain 3, then 2 more treble, so as before you've done the corner, but you've just 1 stitch less. Now if you pull that one just slightly a little bit, then you're going to go down the next side, you've got your 3 trebles ready. But sometimes, and I have done it in the past and I could do it in the future, it's easy to do, you can forget this one sometimes, because sometimes the corner sits over the top, and it can be worse as well in darker colours. Black is not a favourite of mine, or navy, or deep green, anything like that. So again, this side we've got 3 stitches, so that's 3 treble, 1 in each. Back to the corner, 1, 2, 3 chain, 2 treble, And again, you've got the 3 stitches, not forgetting this first one, which is so easy to do. And if you're unsure, just pull your 2 trebles to the side. And again, 2 treble in the corner, followed by 3 chain, 2 treble. And again, 3, oops, last corner, 2 treble, 3 chain, oops, and 2 treble. Slip stitch into your top of your 2 or 3 chain, depending which one you've done, and that's 2 rounds. Now just talk about the corner. I made another one. I'm not doing a project, but I just thought I'd do another one to show you what happens when you do difference in the corner. So this is the one the pattern calls for, apart from my personal choice. There's 3 chain in each corner. This one is exactly the same amount of stitches. Start with 3 and then you go up 4 every round, sorry, on each side. But I've only put 2 chain in each corner just to show the difference, what happens. They're not going to lay flat because they're not blocked, but this is the 3 corner, 3 chain, this is the 2 chain, and there's a slight bow on each side, whereas this is almost square, not a bow. This one, it works both ways, they both work. You can still put a border on this one exactly the same like I did for my son's blanket that I made out of solid squares some years ago. So it does work, but that's what happens with the shape. It's slightly different. And also in this one, I don't know if you can see on camera, it's not very good, but that's the join, because that's where I finished, so it goes straight up. That's the join, exactly the same. So this is my preference, except the first row, obviously. 2 chain. This one I've put what the pattern says. So there is slight, and as I found as I started crocheting and I got a little bit better, and I did a lot more projects with friends and by myself, I personally preferred taking a chain out to start with and just doing the 2 chain. Don't do them too tight, because if you do it too tight then it's going to go the other, it's going to like pucker. So I mean, everybody crochets different. I don't crochet tight or loose. I think I'm just okay. The projects I've done over the years, they don't curl, so I must be just doing something right. But if I wanted to put 3 in, I could tighten them up a little bit. Sorry about that, just a bit of background noise. As I was saying about the chains, personal choice. Pattern says to put 3 in, doesn't mean it's wrong, it's just I personally, the way it sits, the way it actually looks, especially when you've got a full project. And like a blanket, you just don't want to see, because obviously your tails will have gone, you just don't want to see your joins. You don't want to see them. So that's just my personal choice. So go back to the square. So like I said before, you can do as many rounds as you like. So I'll just do one more round with you. So my choice, 2 chain. First one is a little fiddly, that went quite easy. Oops. So it's 1 treble in each stitch. Previous treble, it could be, if you're doing rows for a project, that row could be a double, a I think that's what I did when I did the video showing the straight sides. It was a double crochet row and a treble crochet row, so as long as it sits inside the top of the stitch of the previous row. So your corner is 2 trebles, 3 chain and 2 treble, and oh, you need just pull your work to the side and not forgetting that first chain, sorry, first treble, that first stitch. It is so easy to have forgotten. And then 1 treble in each. Oops. Do that again. Then to your corner again, so that's 2, 1, 2, 2 treble, 3 chain, 2 treble. Again, don't forget your first stitch. It's easy to do. 1 treble in each stitch. There, you can alter this by doing, it alters the face of the solid. I'll show you on the next side. 2 treble, 3 chain, 2 treble. I'll do the first one as it should be in the top of the previous stitch, so you can alter, and it looks quite nice. So instead of going through the top, so yarn over, instead of doing that, you do the same yarn over if you go into what is called the back loop. And I have done projects like this before. It just changes the look. It looks baggy, but it does work out. I know when I was learning to crochet at first, I was so tight because you tense up. So you see, it leaves the front bar as a line. It's not there because what I've done is I've gone in both there, but on this one I've just gone in the back loop. You can do one projects that sometimes call for the going in the front one as well, but it's not common. But yeah, it makes different. It is different looking. It is pretty. But for now, I'll just go through both. I'm a bit warm, so sorry about the squeaky yarn. 2 treble in your corner, 3 chain. What I like about these squares as well, the traditional and this one, is you can pick it up and put it down. It's easy to do. Then we slip stitch in the top of the 2 chain. There we go. That's 3 rounds done. So remembering, we start with like your granny, your 3, and there's your 3 on top, and then 2 either side. Same again, so you've got 3, 7, and then you've got to have 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 on each side, and just go up 4, and if you're unsure, just check. You'll be able to tell as well, especially if you've done it more than once. So if you've missed a stitch or added one, it will not sit square. It does go off. So that is your solid granny. I love it. I really like this one. Like I said before, you can put just 2 chain, but it just has this boing effect. It's not massive, but you do notice it. As long as you do them all the same, it'll work out. Now I'll go back to the granny, and I said about the tail at the back. Don't know if you've noticed, I've made a mistake. Well, it's not a mistake, I've just gone a bit tight. You notice this little ridge, and it's not on there. It's like on this one, it's not on that one, but it's on this one. And what I've done, tail's not there, I've sewn the tail in, I've gone a bit enthusiastic with the needle as I've pulled. That's how it should be. You don't want it to look like this. You don't want that polo looking shape. So what I do is thread, yarn, oops. I go through a few clusters of trebles first, at least 2, but I do normally like to go in each round at least, and then pull it gently so it should lay flat, so you haven't got that polo looking circle there. There's a difference. And then what I like to do, when I first did my projects, I just went one way, which is fine as long as you go plenty in. Otherwise it will come out as it did on one of my projects. Fortunately, as I said in my previous video, it was for a family member, so I fixed it for them. But that was my fault. I've not gone round enough. But what I like to do now for insurance is pick up a stitch and then go back the other way. Don't pull too tight. You'll learn as time goes on. You learn by your mistakes. Hopefully not too costly, especially if it's a order for a customer. But practice makes perfect, and it is so true with crochet, I find. So that's what I like to do, is definitely go 2 to 3. If not, go a bit more. It doesn't hurt. And you can actually feel it in you. If you're going too much, it will bulge. It's still laying flat, and you can't. If you go too many, it will bulge, and then snip. So that's the end of the solid granny video. I hope you liked it. Leave a comment below what you would like me to do next. I am going to do a video on changing colours, maybe on both or just on one. I will do a video on border. Now, the solid granny, I have a blanket that I was bought the yarn, and every row was a different colour. I think if I'm right, they were bigger squares as well. I don't know how many rounds, I can't remember, but they were definitely bigger. I use it for camping, and it's really toasty. It's really nice and thick. It's only double knit, just like this. It's double knit. In fact, it's the same yarn, but obviously different colours. I'll see if I can fish that out and show you. It is big though. It's a big one. So I will see you next time. So from Planet Crochet, me Bev, my little monkey. I'll catch you again. See you in my next video. Bye for now.